Top 6 inflammatory foods to avoid for arthritis. Reduce joint pain and inflammation. If you ever come across someone who complains about pain in their joints after hanging out at a pizza party with close friends, it might be a sign that the although delicious but highly processed frozen pizza has triggered their arthritis. This theory may seem a bit far-fetched to you right now, but if you remember how soda drinks, alcohol, and other foods can cause heart and liver problems, you'll understand why we said what we said. Just like other chronic diseases, arthritis can also be triggered by some foods. So if you or your loved ones are suffering because of this disease, stay tuned and keep watching, because in this video, we're going to tell you about the top 6 inflammatory foods that you need to avoid to combat arthritis. Before we cut right to the villain of the story, let's talk about what it's about. Arthritis is made up of two Greek words, where arthro means joint and itis means inflammation. So it literally translates to joint inflammation. But it would be an understatement if we limit arthritis pain to just inflamed joints. It is a chronic disease, which means that people who have it mostly suffer from it throughout their lives. It has many forms and many causes, but the common kinds of arthritis are rheumatoid arthritis, gout, and osteoarthritis. The disease is so common that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, report that almost a quarter of the adult US population, almost 24% to be exact, suffer from arthritis. This doesn't only affect the quality of life for these people, but is also a great financial burden in terms of healthcare costs. But what causes this disease? Well, as we mentioned before, a disorder as complicated as arthritis has many forms and consequently many causes. Number 3. Autoimmune diseases. Most arthritis is caused by autoimmune diseases, where the body starts attacking its healthy cells. Rheumatoid arthritis is one example, where the immune system cells start attacking normal cells, which causes swelling and pain. It can also happen to people who have psoriasis. Psoriasis is an autoimmune disorder where the skin develops itchy, bump-like patches, and if this condition worsens, the cells of the body also start attacking cells of different joints, and this leads to psoriatic arthritis. Similarly, in ankylosing spondylitis, the bones that make up our spine are affected by this autoimmune condition, and it sometimes migrates to other joints and bones and leads to arthritis. Number 2. Damage to cartilage. Cartilage is a connective tissue which helps protect our bones and the joint where two or more bones meet. Because of the protective function of cartilage, our bones can coordinate with each other smoothly and help the body move without any friction or pain. However, if this cartilage is damaged because of either some injury or an accident, the bones may not be protected anymore, and their shape gets changed, leading to a lot of pain. According to the Centers for Disease Control's CDC report, approximately 32.5 million US adults are currently suffering from osteoarthritis. Number 3. Building up of uric acid. Uric acid is a common byproduct of the body's processes, and it accumulates when a chemical called purines, present in anchovies, tuna, and mussels, break down. Normally, our kidneys get rid of uric acid just like they remove every other toxic and unneeded material from the body. But if there is some uric acid residue inside the body and it keeps building up, it can make uric acid crystals. These crystals start to build up around joints, and this causes a lot of pain and stiffness. This condition is called gout, and just like all other forms of arthritis, it can cause inflammation in the joints. Whatever the reason for arthritis, all of them are marked by painful, stiff joints. The pain may go away in periods called remission, or it may be constant. Although this isn't good news, we wish we could say that this is the only bad news about arthritis that you need to worry about. Your muscles may feel weaker too, further restricting your body's movements. In some cases, it can cause inflammation in other parts of the body too, such as the eyes and the mouth. So it's not an easy condition to live with, but there is always something you can do to minimize the risks associated with the disease. You might have noted that when we told you about the causes of this disease, we didn't mention any specific food item. Even though food alone might not lead to this problem, it can trigger the painful experience of arthritis and make the condition worse. So next up in this video, we're sharing the top 6 foods to avoid for people with arthritis. Number 6. Sweets. Added sugar are bad news for multiple diseases, and that includes arthritis. The problem with these sugars is that when the body detects their increased levels inside the blood, it signals the immune system to make more cytokines, which are cells that cause inflammation. This means that there will be more swelling and ultimately more pain for the person consuming sugar. Many people who have arthritis have reported worsening of their arthritis flares after eating sugar-filled foods. That's not all, because sugar has also been linked to increasing the amounts of anti-citrulline protein antibodies, or ACPAs, that are found in patients with rheumatoid arthritis. These antibodies also cause more production of cytokines and induction of the creation of bone-dissolving cells called osteoclasts, thus worsening the condition of arthritis for people who consume added sugars. Number 5. Gluten. Gluten is a protein that helps dough maintain its texture, and so it is found in a lot of baked goods. Some people develop gluten sensitivity, and after consuming it, they feel nauseous and get bloated. In some cases, it can disrupt the body's ability to perform its digestive functions properly and result in celiac disease, which damages the small intestine. You might be wondering, what does this have to do with arthritis? Well, many researchers have linked gluten's disastrous effects on the gut microbe to increased inflammation, which can worsen the symptoms of arthritis. In one research, patients with rheumatoid arthritis reported an improvement in their symptoms after a gluten-free diet, even though these patients did not respond well to conventional treatment methods. Number 4. Nightshade Vegetables. This might come as a shock because usually all health advocates preach about how good vegetables are for your health. But not everything is suitable for everyone, and we're bringing you a good example of it. Nightshade vegetables include our beloved potatoes, tomatoes, and even eggplant, and they all contain a colorless glycoalkaloid called solanine. Solanine poisoning can cause headaches, diarrhea, and stomach pain. It can also affect the structural integrity of intestines and harm their ability to allow passing through of different materials. Since this can disturb the gut microbiota, the body's cells get alerted and start sending inflammatory agents, leading to the worsening of arthritis symptoms. Number 3. Highly processed foods. We hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we should face the truth with a brave face and get right on to fixing the problem. All these sodas we drink, all those canned foods we pile up our refrigerators with, and all those frozen foods that have a great shelf life are not good for arthritis. This is because they have added sugars or salt or different kinds of preservatives which contribute to inflammation and make arthritis more painful and unbearable. In a research where 56 patients of rheumatoid arthritis were subjected to trials where their food consumption was evaluated, it was found that eating highly processed foods leads to higher risks of developing a cardiac disease. Number 2. Salty foods. Most of us know how salty foods are bad for people with heart disease, but salty foods like chips, frozen pizzas, and even canned meat can be bad for autoimmune conditions. They trigger our immune system to release more cytokines, and this causes an increase in inflammation, worsening joint pain for people with arthritis. Consuming a lot of salt in food has also been associated with an increased risk of rheumatoid arthritis, so you might want to recheck the salt content of many processed foods before you buy them. Number 1. Foods with high AGEs. When food is being cooked, the heat may cause the proteins and reducing sugars inside the food to react together, and this causes browning. This reaction is called a Maillard reaction, and it can produce advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These can cause many problems for the body, and that includes triggering inflammation in arthritis patients. Fried foods and highly processed foods have high amounts of AGEs. So to sum it up, foods that have a long shelf life, are too sweet, too salty, and nightshade vegetables may trigger the symptoms of arthritis, so it's better to avoid them whenever possible. It might seem like a lot of fun, but delicious foods have to be struck off your list if you're managing arthritis. These yummy treats come with a cost, and health is a cost nobody should be willing to pay. Since arthritis is a chronic disease, you will be reducing the risk of many other chronic diseases, such as heart problems, and even cancer if you avoid highly processed, salty, or sugary foods. So in the long term, it is a definite win. If you liked knowing about these dangerous foods, make sure to share this video with a friend who can also benefit from this content. And if you'd like to see more similar content appearing on your homepage, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, we'll see you soon.